What are the reasons Salesforce projects fail? One of the key reasons, it's not well understood by the client what is required to adopt the technology. Clients, they think it ends with paying that bill to Salesforce. That's my investment in Salesforce. This better work, otherwise my neck's on the line. That's how a lot of managers think, and that's an incorrect way of thinking. A correct way of thinking is I'm renting software off Salesforce that I would have had to build last year. Back in the day with IT, you'd have a whole department of IT people developing the software to work in your IT department. So that's how IT usually worked, and it was millions of dollars was spent on that. You'd have project managers and business analysts and testers. That is how IT worked. The IT managers now are still maintaining those core systems that are so important that the business is built and the revenue runs through, and these things are really important. And a lot of the IT people are kind of focused on that, and they're like, don't talk to me about Salesforce. I'm responsible for the important stuff. You guys from marketing, you do your Salesforce. Tell me if it breaks. That's where the problem is. It's in the IT department not recognizing Salesforce is an IT system and not taking ownership over the governance and the adoption of it. A lot of CIOs are not involved, and that's a massive problem. A lot of it starts with the CMO, who CMO is trying to own the customer experience. The CMO is, what's my future role? And it's the customer experience officer or whatever that becomes, right? Which is a bridge. It's a bridge between marketing and IT, because it's got to be technology enabled. The future customer experience is always going to be technology enabled. So the marketer is like, well, I've got to get things done. I need a single customer view. I need to personalize across my channels. I need to do these smart journeys that make money. I need to do a journey to someone and know that's not the wrong person, or I'm not spamming them. So the marketing person has to have control over the data. The problem is that they don't have control over the master of the data. They are getting it from IT. Unless they're on board with the Salesforce strategy and they own Salesforce, it's very much problematic between the two departments. Salesforce projects fail largely because internally it's not owned correctly. IT and marketing, they aren't talking. CEO doesn't even know how to spell Salesforce. Just some guy in marketing that's invested in it because it's important. Where we've seen companies do it really well is where IT is heavily involved in the Salesforce adoption. They've applied the same amount of rigor and governance to Salesforce as they have to every other system. They have a project manager, they have a business analyst, they have a program manager, they have a business case. They know that this is an essential strategic platform for the future of the business. That's a really important reason why projects fail. Because of the lack of plan and understanding, you could almost say it's a naivety of the companies not knowing what they don't know when they buy Salesforce. As a downstream impact of that naivety is there's not the adequate budget assigned for the internal project and the partner project to support the license costs. They may have got the license costs correct. Tick, they got the right quote from Salesforce and they bought the license, you've done your job. But who has done the effort estimate for the internal project team? So who is going to be the business analyst? Who's going to be the UAT testers? Who's going to be the project manager? Who's going to oversee the project manager and have some kind of governance? After it goes into production, who's going to be responsible for L1 support, L2 support? Who's going to be responsible for enhancements? Who's going to run the roadmap? Are you going to have multiple project streams that continually enhance the different Salesforce platforms that you're investing in? Because that's the other consideration, is a team that work on Salesforce CRM is a different team that work on Salesforce Marketing Cloud. It's a different skill set and it's a different expertise. You can obviously have multi-skilled people, and that's why it's so important to get advice. Like before you start signing the order forms, get advice and really think through, what is your plan with Salesforce? Where are you coming from? What do you need to do to successfully implement Salesforce? Those are the key reasons, is really not understanding the true cost and the true work required to adopt Salesforce. While there's a true cost to adopting Salesforce, there's any system, there's a true cost to adopting it. This isn't Salesforce specific, this is CRM specific. If anyone is putting in any strategic CRM platform, you need a project manager, a business analyst, a subject matter expert for each process you're impacting. You need testers and even a test manager if there's a lot of stuff going on. We need to go back to how we used to think about IT projects and apply the same level of rigor to Salesforce projects. Obviously, smarter ways. We've got better tools. There's things like test automation software that you can use to automate regression testing. IT is way easier now than it used to be. It doesn't mean that we don't need to do it anymore. Companies have forgotten that we need to have these project processes that ensure successful projects. 94% of all digital transformation projects fail. 94%. That means that almost every project for a digital transformation is going to fail. Way to reduce that is to not go into it ignorant. Think, okay, what are all the things I need to do? I need to make sure I've got a trainer to train my staff on how to use it. I need to make sure that once I give it to the users, I say, here's the first phase. I need to expect there's going to be feedback because they're going to be like, this is shit. My last system was so much easier to use. So there's an element of change management. So you need to have a phase 2 where you listen to their feedback and then optimize. And then there's going to be phase 3, phase 4, and that's for the one solution, the one business process you've changed. You need to think about this like this is your Salesforce project is the start of a transformation. It's not a one and done. Like you're not putting it in and then a year later checking and being like, what's the ROI? It's much better if you come at Salesforce with a very open view and say, I'm going to treat it like a project. I'm going to allocate a project manager, a business analyst. I'm going to allocate a group of subject matter experts. I'm going to allocate a steering committee of leaders that have a regular catch up, a cadence, to check in on the project and make sure it's on track. Now, that's the correct way of doing it. And then I'm going to hire a partner to come in and work with my project team, and they will specialize in what they do. I will own the rollout and the adoption into my company. I'll get them to do the project effectively and correctly. That's a really good way of working. Where companies fail is it's just in that side. I can come into companies and do whatever you want. Like there's nothing too hard. You tell us what you need and we'll give it to you. But if you can't articulate what you need, it's very hard for a partner to work with you. So that's really where the BA is required. They know your business. Ideally, you'd get someone that's been working in the process, say a call center agent that's aspiring to learn Salesforce. Bring them out, get their knowledge and apply it to the Salesforce instance. Train them on Salesforce and they'll become a future admin or business analyst. That's kind of the best way of doing it. It's really on understanding the implementation and adoption reality of any CRM, any digital transformation project. That's the key point. What I would like to recommend is anyone that is looking at Salesforce, if they'd like to define a strategy that they can take to Salesforce and say, here's the plan, here's what I need. AFDigital, we can help you with that. We can help build out your current state and help you understand exactly what is going on. We can help you build out a phased roadmap and a bill of materials. What licenses do you need exactly during that phased rollout? We can help you go into this with eyes wide open. We can help advise you around the resources required. What teams do you need? What training do they need to go through? Please do reach out to me directly. Just DM me a comment. We can help you.